So, what is online insurance software? Um, well, when I think of web-based cloud insurance software, I think of a whole suite of different things. The insurance industry is very complex. There's lots of different parties involved in typical insurance transactions, um, and they all have different needs, different software requirements. So, in a broad sense, online, web-based, or cloud insurance software could mean one of many different things. If we look at the different parties involved, right at the top of the chain, you've got insurers, re-insurers, carriers, the guys with the money to underwrite the risk. They need to look at very broad reporting and to understand where they are taking risk, how much cover they are giving in those areas, and ultimately what claims they're getting, so they can compare these things and understand profits, understand where new risks are developing. They are also acutely interested in distribution, new distribution channels, what's working and what isn't, getting their products to market, getting their products to brokers and the insured, to consumers. Brokers you can think of as highly technical resellers, very, very highly skilled people, hopefully. Often highly regulated, and they have to get their hands dirtier than the insurers. They need to look at far more detail. Ultimately, they are the guys dealing with the insured party, usually, with the consumers, and as a result, they need to understand their psychology, their buying habits, to try and think about how they may distribute things better. In an online environment, they need to be able to attract new customers, to tweak their products if they have the authority to do that, and to look at exactly what customers are answering as part of the process of getting cover, to understand what cover they've given them, what the limits are, and again, what's working, what's creating claims and what's not. They also need CRM, customer relationship management, so they need to see what emails they're making, what phone calls they're making, to be able to add notes about particular risks, particular customers, and to report on all of these things, to create tasks and to manage their workflow. Just as with insurers, they need their insurer to be able to rate premiums, to perform the maths, to create the price ultimately the insured needs to pay, to calculate commissions, and to keep track of the various parties involved in these transactions, and to do all of this as much as possible by involving in an online environment all of these parties as much as possible, so that no one party ends up with a huge backlog of work, having to chase insurers or consumers or vice versa. Each party in the chain does their bit online as part of the software. So when someone who's insured wants to get renewed or make an adjustment to their policy mid-term, as much as possible that person can do that using the same software. But as you can imagine, with all of these different parts, what someone may think of when they think of online insurance software could be entirely different to someone else. Consumers ultimately don't go looking for insurance software per se, but they may not realise they are, but they're certainly users of insurance software, users of cloud services. Primarily they need to get cover, so they need to fill out forms online to get a price. If they like the price, they go ahead and they need to pay for that in a variety of ways. Credit cards, automated debiting from bank accounts, premium finance. These are the sorts of things that the insured would expect to see on a website. information about the company they're dealing with, and after they get cover, they will want documentation, usually in PDF format. They will want emails sent to them, and later on they may want to retrieve that documentation on a whim. So they will need to log into an online environment to get that data. So I've covered the main groups as I think of them and what they need. For me, this is what online insurance software means, what web-based insurance software means, and it remains to be said only that cloud, in my head, relates more than anything to the hardware infrastructure and the technology that's used. A traditional server hosting environment would give you potentially one or a couple of fixed servers. Cloud tends to mean that hardware is under software control, so if the website needs to scale up automatically to cope with lots of demand, it can provision automatically additional servers. When those servers are no longer needed anymore, those servers can fall back, making the cost of those servers elastic. So it's higher when it needs to be, but lower again when it doesn't need to be. And as part of building a solution in this way for the cloud, automatically we tend to get redundancy, backup, greater ability for throughput, because instead of one single point of failure, a physical resource hosting the software, we have a complete set of servers that can come in and out as required. So in a nutshell, that's what online web-based cloud insurance software means to me. Let me know in the comments if it means something different to you, or if it's spot on. Hope to hear from you. Thanks.